Greetings, everybody. Richard Filmer here, and welcome to another one of my Richard's Rock Rambles. You're in a freezing Cape Town. The last couple of days, it's been about that cold, and yeah, lots of red wine in the evenings and a bit of sherry. I've got my morning coffee here, so we're set to go. So we're going to have a look at another box set. And this particular box set I got many years ago at the old place that I used to work in town here, at the waterfront, CD Warehouse. And they had this big markdown sale. And pretty much everything was marked down that hadn't been selling and had been on the shelves for a while, including box sets. And I picked this up for an absolute song. Excuse the pun. But it really was. I paid next to nothing for it. And it's one of the best box sets I have. It's by the American progressive rock band, hard rock band you can call them. They also did a few sort of commercial type songs, had a few big hits. Talking about the band Kansas. Yes, that great American prog rock band. So in this box set you got 2 CDs plus a DVD. And I must say the DVD was really the clincher for me. It's got some great stuff on it. So this covers the period from 1974, which was pretty much when they started, and goes up to 2004. Kansas are still going today. Obviously, the lineups they talk about here, no, some of them are still in the band. I think Phil Earhart, the drummer, he's still in the band. But they have changed over the years. The original singer's not with them anymore, and a couple of other people have left. But yeah, how's that cover? I love that cover of that ship there. It's sort of indicative of the whole progressive rock thing, I guess, having these interesting covers. So what does it say? So 30-year career. They came out of a place called Topeka. And you know, if you look at pictures of Kansas, they're not your typical prog rock look. I mean, I think one of the guitarists, I'll get to his name in a second, but he used to wear like these dungarees, and they look like a bunch of hillbillies, you know, and you think, oh, these guys really pull it off. Their music was complex, and yeah, they were really serious musos, great keyboardists, guitarists, drummers, vocalists, you name it, they pulled it off. And some of their stuff, I think, went over people's heads in the beginning. But they picked up a big following in the States, obviously with a name like Kansas. But I think also they toured a lot, went overseas. They also had some success in Europe. But a great band. Sometimes they get lumped in with people like Styx. I'm trying to think who else. Styx is probably the closest to Kansas. Maybe even some of the early Toto, which had progressive rock leanings. But these guys pretty much had a sound all of their own, especially because they had the violin going as well, which was a big part of their sound. So let's just open this up and have a look. So it's called Sail On, the 30th Anniversary Collection, 1974 to 2004. So there you have the 2 CDs in that nice case. Not much behind the CDs. And then on the other side, there's the DVD, which, as I said, was really worth it. Interesting stuff. So pretty much on disc 1, there's all the songs. And then you can just go through some of these, so should ring some bells. Can I Tell You? Journey from Maribron, Song for America. That was also the title of their second album, I think. Lamplight Symphony, Icarus Born on Wings of Steel. That's a great track. Some great drumming, excellent guitar work. The Pinnacle, Child of Innocence, Carry On My Wayward Son. You should all know that one. Probably their biggest hit from the album Left Overture. And that came out in 1976. Miracles Out of Nowhere, What's on My Mind. And then on disc 2 on the CDs, you got Point of No Return. Portrait He Knew, Dust in the Wind, of course, that great ballad type track that was also a massive hit for them. That was off Point of No Return, I think, yes. Lightning's Hand, Sparks of the Tempest, Paradox, People of the South Wind, Hold On, Got to Rock On, and Play the Game Tonight. And that was from Vinyl Confessions. So there you have an early shot of the band. I think yes, there you can see the Dungaree Man. Yeah, interesting look. I think the record execs and the record company also saw this and thought, hang on, what are these guys going to do? Oh, sorry, it carries on from track 10 on the second disc with Fight Fire with Fire, All I Wanted, Rainmaker, Desperate Times, Eleanor Rigby, their version of the Beatles classic, Paul McCartney and John Lennon classic, and Icarus 2. And then on the third disc, which is the DVD, you've got Can I Tell You, Journey from Mariobron, Death of Mother Nature Suite. There's a whole bunch of tracks in here, Fight Fire with Fire. And then they interview each guy in the band or some that had already left. I think when this DVD was shot, Robbie Steinhardt, the guy that played the violin within the band, that big mane of hair, I think he had already left the band. They do still have a violinist in their most recent lineup. I just can't think of the guy's name. But they're still touring, like I said. They're still making albums. Great band. So there's the man I'm talking about. There you can see all the hair. Robbie Steinhardt. So he was a vocalist and violinist. Really good singer as well. Those are the other two. And that's the singer over there, original singer, Steve Walsh. I think it is his name. That was one of the other guitarists. There we go. That's Steve Walsh. Brilliant voice. He could really hit the high notes. Sadly, as he got older, he lost a lot of his ability and he left the band. I'm not sure if he's actually recording anymore, or even performing. But yeah, great guitarist. Singer, sorry. Speaking of great guitarists, there's Kerry Livgren. He was an amazing keyboardist as well. Left the band eventually and went into the gospel field, gospel side of things. That's him over there. Amazing guitarist. Let's see who else is here. Then you got the bassist, Dave Hope, original bassist, playing that Fender there. Rich Williams. I think he was the man who used to wear the dungarees. And there's another quite a funny shot of the band there pulling faces. And there's the drummer, Phil Earhart. Excellent drummer. Reminds me sometimes of Neil Peart from Rush. That kind of drummer. I think he's the only original guy left in Kansas at the moment. He sort of runs the show. And these are some of the other guys that have played in the band. Billy Greer on bass. So the band's been going for so long. And there's just some of the ads and the posters and what have you. It's just quite cool. Yeah, I picked this box set up. I couldn't believe my luck. And then here you have the whole story of the band and how they evolved and the albums and who was in the band and etc., along with some nice photographs. Of course, not towards the end, but at a certain part in their career, they had Mr. Steve Morse in the band. He was there for, I think, 2 albums. And, of course, he went on to Deep Purple and he's with Dixie Dregs and whatever. He's now left Purple, obviously, because his wife has been quite ill. Greg Robert and David Rogsdale on the violin there. So you can see they've always had a violinist, just different people. And, these are more recent photographs, I think in the 90s and the 2000s. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. And then they give you a rundown of the albums. This was up until, obviously, this was in 2004, this came out. So there you got a nice shot of all the album covers. I have some of these on vinyl. I need to complete my collection of the early stuff. And, so that's it. And this is probably not available anymore because, these box sets, they don't stay in print for very long. which is another reason why I grabbed it with both hands. But if you see this lying around and you're into progressive rock or just into good music, good solid rock, Kansas, can't go wrong. I think later on in their career they had a few hit and misses. They tried to go into a slightly more commercial side of things. But yeah, always interesting band. Lots of time changes. The violin, like I said, great singer, all round great band. That's it. That's me for today. Kansas, the 30th anniversary collection, sale on 1974 to 2004. A thing of beauty. Have a great week. Take it easy out there. Give me a thumbs down or a thumbs up down below. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Any comments, more than welcome. And yeah, I'll catch you soon. Have a good one. Cheers.